How many here have ever felt stuck, trapped in a corner with no choice? Well, what if I told you that no choice is a choice? Well, I'd like to introduce you to something that I call the symbol of freedom. We actually live in a culture that has glorified that symbol. The pyramid. Whether it's business, whether it's religion, whether it's family. There's a little room at the top and there's a lot of room at the bottom. In the Native American tradition, they teach and they learn from the shield, from the wheel, which is a circular image. And what they say is there's no place on the wheel that's any more important than any other place on the wheel. So here you are, feeling stuck, feeling trapped. How do you create freedom? Walk around the wheel. Look at that same experience from a different perspective. Walking around the wheel creates freedom in any moment in your life. No choice is a choice. Having said that, I can give you an example from my experience in the Grand Canyon. Back in the early 80s, I was on a raft trip. It was actually a science-based trip. Several well-known scientists, one of whom was not well-known. He was actually a grad student in geology who had never been west of the Alleghenies. And all of a sudden, here he is in this living geologic museum called the Grand Canyon. And this is pretty much how he looked most of the time. His name was John, and he was in heaven. He was looking at, touching, surrounded by all of this geology that he had only seen in books and seen pictures of. And he was loving it until we got to Hance Rapid. Hance Rapid is the first of the major rapids. It's at mile 77. We pulled over on River Left and walked up to the top of a sand dune to scout, to check the rapid out, to see what the run was we were going to make. John came halfway up and sat down on a rock. 15 minutes later, I approached John, and he was looking rather pale. Pale is not normal in the desert. John was scared. He just spent the last 15 minutes listening to the freight train, looking at nothing but white water and rocks, convinced he was going to die. So I said, John, you're a scientist. You're good with details, right? He said, oh, yeah. I said, how would you like to help me get through this rapid? He looked kind of perplexed. He says, well, yeah, but how? I said, well, let me show you the run, and then you can keep track and help me keep on line. He said, well, I'll try. So I told him we were going to row across the river. We were going to do a downstream ferry to the left, meaning the rear end of our boat was going to be pulling left. We were going to enter on the left side of the tongue, pull left, grab some slack water, try to get left of a couple of pour-overs, which is just water going over rocks, creating holes. Keep pulling left, look for a huge pour-over we call the Whale Rock, because Whale got stuck on it one day. And then find a slot between two big holes and hit some big waves straight. He was looking intently at this run. He said, show me again. So I did. And they said, okay. So we walked back to the raft. By the time we got back to my raft, John's color was back in his face and he was focused. So I coiled up the bow line, tied it onto my boat, we shoved off. John's the only passenger in my boat. When you're above a major rapid, the water has pooled up, the current has slowed down, so it's kind of tension. It takes a long time to get to the head of the rapid, and once you get to the head of the rapid, all hell breaks loose. John's focused on the entry. I'm focused on the entry and what I'm going to do next. We get to the head of the rapid, and all of a sudden, John stands up and takes over. There you go, Charlie, that's good. Now you got to get a little bit left. Grab that slack water. Wow, look at that hole. Keep going left, Charlie. There's those goal posts. Oh, you're going to have to go between them. You're not far enough left. Come on, now you got to really pull left. Where's that whale rock? There it is. There's that whale rock. Yeah, got to get right of that. Then we got to find that. Oh, yeah, there it is. Go right a little bit more, Charlie. Look at those holes. Oh, we got hit those waves straight. Whew. Later that night, I went up to John and I said, John, what do you remember most about the day? He said, going from the brink of death to sheer exhilaration in 30 seconds enhance. How do you think he did that? I mean, what was going on with John that helped him go from the brink of death to sheer exhilaration?
He changed his mind.
What's that?
He changed his mind.
Well, he did change his mind. He actually walked around the wheel.
He wanted to live.
He was willing. Well, you know, John didn't have a real choice. I mean, he could have hiked out, but that wasn't even an option there. Yes?
He felt empowered.
He did. He got to participate. Rather than being a spectator hoping for a safe outcome, he got to participate. Did I need him to participate? No. But that wasn't the point. The point was, he got information he didn't have before. First of all, he was willing to do it. After he got the information and he felt like he was a participant, John felt more empowered. Absolutely. John walked around the wheel. And those are three of the important ingredients for you. The willingness to go where you've never been before, because if you want to go where you've never been before, you have to go there. More information that you didn't have, and then, of course, being a participant, not just hoping for a safe outcome.